busy? What does it look like? Okay, well, I'm just here to remind you that you haven't uploaded in like a month, so you might want to, do that. Yeah, I'll get back to that, but for now, could you leave? I gotta practice. Alright, go back to practicing your violin. Thank you. Wait, what did you call this thing? A violin. Sorry. One more time? A violin. Okay, alright. Don't you ever call this thing a violin again! Now, if you don't know what a viola is, what, have you been living under a rock? Come on, it's been in like 2 of my videos. Urban Dictionary defines the viola as a glorious stringed instrument that creates a rich, warm tone when played, unlike the violin, and I couldn't agree more. If you don't agree, then the door's over there. All jokes aside, the viola is one of the 4 instruments in the string orchestra family, along with cellos, double basses, and violins. The viola is essentially a violin with a lower range. If you've been an orchestra kid for even a month, you'll know that the viola is the punching bag of the entire orchestra. People say gamers are the most oppressed group of society. Nah, it's violists. Violas are constantly bashed for being the awkward middle child of the orchestra. People say they're nothing but a bulkier, cheaper, and less elegant version of the violin. Looking at you two, Set. Well, today I am here to discredit all of those claims. This is my defense of the viola. Rebuttal number 1. The viola is for less talented violinists. This point claims that since violins almost always have the melody in an orchestra, violinists need to work extra hard to know their notes. And since violas almost never get the melody, violists don't have to work as hard. This claim is simply not true. Just because you don't have the melody doesn't mean you don't have to work as hard. Music isn't just about playing notes from a sheet of paper. It's about conveying the notes through expression, dynamics, vibrato, the list goes on. And that can be said for every instrument in the orchestra, viola included. Also, if you don't have the melody, that doesn't mean your part isn't advanced. There's a piece my orchestra played last year, and tell me, does it look intense, complex, intimidating? It should. Funny thing is, this is the viola part, which should be easy, right? Rebuttal number 2. Violas are easily the least popular instrument in the orchestra. Now, this point I'm not denying. I'm sure a fair amount of you didn't even know what the viola was before watching this video. However, I don't see the viola's lack of popularity as a negative. In fact, I see it as a positive. Where I'm from, orchestras are always looking for violists, which gives them an advantage compared to other instruments. For example, I've heard of colleges giving violists full rides as long as they play in their orchestras. And now the final and most elaborate rebuttal, the alto clef sucks. For those of you who know anything about music, you'll know that there are 2 primary clefs, the treble clef and the bass clef. Now, the treble clef is for generally higher instruments, like violins, flutes, sopranos, etc., and the bass clef for generally lower instruments, like cellos, trombones, double basses, you get the gist. Alto clef, however, is the secret 3rd clef of music, the long-lost brother of clefs. The instruments that play on this clef are the viola, yeah, that's about it. So why does the alto clef exist? I mean, 1 instrument plays on it. It's like if your local Big started selling a new coffee, but they would only sell it to 1 person in the entire world. What's the point of its existence if practically no one uses it? The answer is a note labeled middle C. Now, middle C is essentially the basis for all Western music. It's generally the first note musicians are taught, it's the center key on a piano, the perfect balance between high and low pitches. Now, middle C on the treble clef is placed 1 line below the staff, and on bass clef, it's placed 1 line above the staff. On alto clef, however, middle C is placed smack dab in the middle of the staff, which means that alto clef is essentially the perfect balance of all 3 clefs. And what is the 1 instrument that plays on the alto clef? The viola, the Goldilocks of all instruments. Not too high, not too low, but just right. And that, my friends, is why the viola is supreme.